What is up, Africana fam? It's your girl back at it again with another hair video, and today's hair sponsor is from Ace Main Raw Hair Extensions. This is a black owned company, y'all, and the hair is super luscious. I'm going to be showing y'all how I transformed this hair from a 1B color into this juicy red that y'all saw in the beginning of this video. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, go ahead and stay tuned. But right now I'm just trying on the wig. This wig is custom made and tailored to my actual head size, and y'all, this fit like a dream. This is her 14-inch raw straight. I have 2.5 bundles and it is in the inches of 14 inches, y'all. And y'all see the body and bounce in this hair. But let's see if it could be able to take some bleach, all right? So starting off with the bleaching process, I am going to be using my Clara Professional Basic White bleach powder, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in my dye bowl, and I'm gonna do about a couple of scoops. I forget exactly how many scoops I did, but I think it's around 3 to 4 scoops. And then I'm going to be using 40 volume developer just to go ahead and mix it up so we have a nice concoction. You want to make sure that your consistency is not too thick but also not too runny. All right, so now that I've counted, I think I did about 4 to 5 scoops and mixed it with 40 volume developer. And we are going to go ahead and mix it up until there are no bumps or clumps into the mixture. Now onto the actual hair. I am going to go ahead and split the hair in half and tie up the rest. I did take a couple of tracks from the back just so we could dye it a bit lighter than the rest of the actual hair. So this is going to be like our base color. So y'all, let me put y'all on real quick. This look that I did wasn't even the original look I was really trying to go for real. I was trying to go for a peanut butter type of look. So I was going to have blonde in the back and red in the front, but it didn't turn out that way. So, but I'm not mad at it either because the turnout was still beautiful. But yeah, this was not the original look. So I'm going to be showing y'all what I did originally, and then I just, freestyled and how I got to this look. All right. So y'all see me, I'm going in sections. I'm gonna go in sections and make sure that I dye every single hair shaft that I've parted away. Okay, so I'm gonna be using my dye brush and the bleach that I mixed up and stuff, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that towards the back or wherever I went ahead and parted away. And I'm gonna let this dye first because I do want the back to be a little bit lighter than the actual front of the hair. And this was supposed to be for the blonde part. Okay, just want to reiterate that because this was a whole different look that I had in mind, but nonetheless I still love how the whole entire look came together. All right, so you just want to make sure that you get all the way towards like the wefting of the wefts, just so that everything is dyed and everything is one color. So I'm gonna let that sit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take a good chunk of the closure part. I am going to have this in the middle part, so I'm going to take each side from the middle part, and I am going to go ahead and do like a little highlight patch in front because I also wanted that part to be peanut butter as well too. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and let that sit. I'm gonna comb through the hair just to make sure that every single strand is dyed and that the blonde is consistent. Okay, and as I'm doing this, as I'm getting towards the root area, I am blending it in a vertical direction just so that the bleach or that the dye doesn't look too blunt. Okay, so if you want that nice gradient effect, just make sure that you're stroking it in vertical motions towards the roots. All right, so cool. Now we're gonna go on to our bleach bath method to dye the rest of the hair, and I did use my Clairol bleach again with the 40 volume developer, and I mixed that up, and now I'm gonna go ahead and use hot tap water, and I'm gonna go ahead and just put that in a bucket alongside with the bleach, and we're just gonna go ahead and dip it into dip the hair into the actual mixture. And what this does is it just helps bleach the hair evenly. As you can see, when you're bleaching in sections, some sections could bleach, more than the other. And I want it to be consistent. And this is just the smarter way of just bleaching your hair in general. If you're trying to do not too high of a lift, to be honest. I wouldn't recommend if you're trying to do a really high lift in regards of like the blonde. I just wanted a nice brown base just so we could do our burgundy and stuff. So I'm trying to lift it to like a number 2 or a number 4 actually. And I'm just gonna go ahead and let my wig sit. I actually kind of let this sit for about like 6 hours. And now I'm gonna go ahead and tone the blonde parts that I have, and I'm using my Charm toner and T15 alongside with my Clairol 20 volume developer, and I'm using 2 parts of developer and 1 part of the toner. And you just want to make sure that you mix that up and get it nice and mixed before I go ahead and put it onto the blonde hair. And I am applying this toner onto the hair while it's damp. I feel like it's easier for me to spread it around, and overall it just gets the job done versus when you have the hair dry. So you want to make sure you mix it until it turns like a purple consistency. That's how you know it's ready. And I am going to go ahead and apply it onto the blonde parts. So I'm kind of just pouring it sporadically all over the hair and kind of turning the hair around and just making sure that it gets everywhere, and then brushing through the hair just to make sure that it gets through all the blonde parts. So I'm applying it on the back and also the little streaks that I also did. And I let that sit probably for about 30 minutes or until like you get your desired color. And this just toned it to be like a warmer tone of like, I guess, blonde or like a beige. So as you can see, it's a lot cooler than the rest of the hair that it looks more brassy. All right, and I went ahead and shampooed and conditioned right after, just so that we can revive the hair. And this is how the hair is looking. So right now I am being super innovative right now, and I'm using a Fashion Nova poly bag just to go ahead and protect the rest of the hair from the red dye that I'm about to apply. So I am going to go ahead and apply the red onto just the root area of where I dyed the hair more blonde in the front of the closure. And yeah, I was just going for this peanut butter look, and I wanted some peanut butter streaks in front, and then dyed the rest of the hair that I dyed a darker brown to be burgundy. So it's gonna be half peanut butter, half jelly, and then we have some jelly and peanut butter streaks in front. That was the entire look that I had in mind, but that didn't go as planned. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. And I know y'all saw it, but I didn't say it. The dye that I am using is my Adore semi-permanent dye, and I use both crimson and magenta and mix them into a dye bowl. All right. But yes, and I use all of the two. So I am going to go ahead and dye the rest of the hair that is more of a brown with the crimson and the magenta. And I'm just going to go ahead and just do my thing and just color the hair. All right, babe. So once that is done, I let that sit overnight. So 8+ hours, and now it's on to actually washing the hair. So this is where everything just kind of just mess up, boo. Just mess up. But it was, we improvise. So I was trying to separate the hair from the red. So I was trying to separate the blonde from the red. And it didn't work out because, I had the blonde streaks in the front. And once I started washing the hair, red bleeds. So please, if you're doing red with any light color, please have some caution because it is going to bleed. I even made sure that I was washing the hair on the coolest setting, and it just wasn't working out. So, I was doing all this extra work of trying to make sure that like the hair didn't bleed on the blonde just for it to still happen. So that happened, and I'm using my silicone mix shampoo just to wash the hair. And yeah, it just didn't go as planned. So yeah, we completely reverted and we're back to square one. We're back to the drawing board. And I was like, you know what? F it. I'm just going to go ahead and just dye this entire hair red and just have variations of red. Okay, so I am going to be doing the watercolor method. I'm using some hot tap water alongside with my Adore and Kiss Temptation semi-permanent dye in both the color Truly Red. And Truly Red is a lighter red than crimson and magenta. So we really get that tomato pasty type of red, you know, like that Ronald McDonald type red. And I decided to use that just so we could have like different dimensions of red. So we're just going to call this 50 Shades of Red. All right. And I just dipped the entire hair in there, including the front parts of the streaks as well too. You just want to make sure that you don't dip the lace into the dye, because then the dye is going to get on the lace and you don't want that. So just make sure that I cautiously dip the hair without dipping the actual lace. And I let that air dry, and this is how it looks. And I'm not mad, y'all. Like, this hair took bleach so well, because I actually did this bleaching method twice on top of adding color, and y'all, the hair is so luscious and shiny. Like, this is A1 quality hair. All right, but now onto the styling of the hair. I am going to go ahead and use my clippers, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of cut straight across first, just to kind of get that blunt cut going, and then we're going to go ahead and add some layers. So the look I'm trying to go for is just some short layerful type of hair, and I'm just using my shears to cut some layers. And you know, I cut the layers a little bit longer than when I wanted to, and then I just kind of go back in and cut it even shorter up until I get my desired look. But you just want to make sure that you're scaling how you're cutting and making sure that this is the cut that you want before you go even shorter. So as you guys can see, I'm just cutting with my shears diagonally across, and I'm just adding some nice face framing layers, and I just kind of go in throughout the entire hair and add those layers. Now, once those layers are added, I am going to go ahead and style on my mannequin head. I don't know how y'all style without a mannequin head, but please, I am not that person. I need to style on the mannequin head. So I placed it on the mannequin head, and I'm using my Caracal wax stick on top of the closure just to get rid of those flyaways. And I'm using my Andis hot comb on the hottest setting. And I was just overall training the front of the hair just to be nice and flat. So now onto curling. I am going to be using my Babyliss curling iron. This is the 1 1/2 inch barrel, and I am going to be curling in all different directions. Usually when I do my curls, I do them away from my face, and for the most part in the same direction on each side. But I actually decided to do my curls in different directions just to kind of get that volume effect. And I actually learned this tip from Arrogance Hey, and I'm not gonna lie, it hits. I just try to make sure that whatever curls that were towards the face, I did do it away from the face, and then, you know, towards the middle and back of the hair, I curled in different directions. So hopefully that made sense for all of my beginners. For the front part, because I do want to have that flip effect still, I am curling away from the face, and as I'm getting towards the back and middle of the hair, that is when I go ahead and curl in different directions. So I still get that volume, but also just that flip effect that we are still looking for. And I'm just doing that all over the hair, all the way until I get to the top of my closure. And now once that is done, I am going to go in with my Chi hairspray, and I'm just going to go ahead and spray that hairspray all over the hair. And y'all, my makeup is done off camera, and I am placing the wig on top of my head. And I did tint the lace off camera. I do use a lace tint. The lace tint that I use is the True Match Conceal Lace Tint in the color Dark. And I just do one layer of it, and it matches my skin tone perfectly. Actually, this is a new lace tint that I've been using, and I absolutely love it. So yes, so now onto cutting off the lace. I am using my shears, and I'm cutting in a jagged motion right next to the hairline. And now on to combing out these curls. I am going to be using just like a Denman brush just to comb out my curls. You could use a wide tooth comb to do this, but I actually like to use a brush just because, you know, that's what I'm used to doing. But y'all, let me put y'all on. I did not use any serum on this hair. I did not use any heat protectant, and y'all, this hair still looks shiny as if I did. This quality A1. If you're looking for a wig that's gonna last long, this is gonna be it. Like off rip, off rip, y'all. It doesn't swell, it doesn't tangle, it doesn't shed. It's just beautiful. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and cut some face framing layers still until I get my desired look. And I'm just playing around with this hair at this point. And these are the final results. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Go ahead and comment down some red hearts if you were at the ending of this video. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel for more videos. This is Purge August. I'm going to be purging all of my content throughout this entire month, so stay tuned on my channel. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Later.